COOP Radio 102.7 FM, CFRO. This is a Monday Brown Bagger. It is the 18th of August, 2008. Our next guest is Dr. Robert M. Bowman, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Air Force retired, who is the president of the Institute for Space and Security Studies, executive vice president of the Millennium III Corporation, and retired presiding Archbishop of the United Catholic Church. Dr. Bowman is also recipient of countless other awards, medals, and certificates, and he will be here in Vancouver, BC on a speaking tour at the Maritime Labor Centers on Friday, August 22nd. The doors open at 7:30. It starts at 7:30. The doors open at 7, and tickets are $10 at the door. For more information, please visit www.vancouver911truth.org. Hello, Dr. Bowman.
Hello.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. In 2000, you ran as a U.S. president candidate for U.S. presidency. What are your thoughts on how McCain has made jokes about bombing Iran and also called for a 100-year war? And now Obama has come out and said when he was asked about if that's a question by CNN, if any sort of apology is due over the U.S. foreign policies over the last 7.5 years, Obama's response was, no, I don't believe in the U.S. apologizing. We made some mistakes. As I said, I think the war in Iraq was a mistake. We didn't keep our eye on the ball in Afghanistan. But, hindsight is 20/20, and I'm much more interested in looking forward rather than looking backwards. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first on McCain, my guess is that he's just mentally unbalanced, partly because of his experiences in prison. But, he sort of scares me. Obama's another thing. I'm very disappointed at such talk coming from Obama. Obviously, he's listening to his mentors, Zbigniew Brzezinski, and other advisors that have been around a lot longer, but who don't have his sensitivities. I would like to expect better things from him.
And also, ever since Bush Sr. came to power until now, in that timeline, we have seen Gulf War I, Gulf War illness, countless homeless veterans, corporate corruption on levels never thought possible before, which should be causing Roosevelt to roll over in his grave, dumbing down of American children and lower educational standards, Gulf War II, and countless other unethical actions, which has financially and physically almost bankrupted the United States. As the U.S. Constitution appears to be hanging only by a thread, with all of this in mind, how can people, in your humble opinion, regain the power in the United States and throughout the whole world?
Well, that's what my 45-minute talk is about. But it's not going to be easy. First of all, we have to wake up the vast majority of the American people who do not yet understand that these things have been happening. They don't realize how endangered our Constitution is, how many of our rights we have already lost, how corporate domination of our foreign policy, our international trade, and our military decisions through our government have devastated this country, gotten us into unnecessary and illegal wars of aggression, and how corporate domination of our government, in addition, has forced down their wages year after year after year. Real wages in the United States are now a third of what they were in the 1950s. And this in spite of soaring productivity. With the productivity advances that we have made in this country, with the amount of wealth created by workers each hour, ordinary workers ought to be able to support their family. One wage earner per family, not two. One job, paying a living wage, working 2 days a week. everybody ought to have 5-day weekends, and you ought to be able to easily support your family. That's the way it should be because of the productivity advances we have. Instead of that, where we used to support a family with one job working 40 hours a week, today it takes 3 jobs.
And I also like to remind our listening audience that Dr. Bowman will be in Victoria on August 23rd at St. Anne's Academy, and that's doors will be opening at 2 o'clock is what I've been told. And so the next question I have for you, presently off the top of your head, what type of budget do you think has been sent over to black ops operations in the United States in regards to spying on the people and also throughout the world? Secondly, could the horrific day of 9/11, where so many innocent people were tragically killed, have been a black ops operation used by allegedly Middle Eastern men as puppets to carry out these horrendous attacks, which in turn permitted the Nazism and the old Soviet Union Stalinism control to once again have a chance to grip the United States and the world in their grasp?
Well, I don't know what the budget is these days. We used to have a black budget, which was a significant portion of the overall defense budget. But now with the budgets for the intelligence agencies and much of their real income is hidden. I mean, the CIA is our largest drug dealer by far. They bring far more cocaine and heroin into the United States than all of the other petty drug dealers combined. So, I mean, who knows how much the CIA and the other intelligence agencies are spending on black operations and dirty tricks. They have been responsible for instability, insurrection, tyranny, torture, terrorism, murder, and war around the world in our name and with our money. And it's got to stop.
And also, on the day of September 11, 2001, Vice President Cheney had taken over command of NORAD from reports which were stating that there was some sort of war games exercise going on that day. How many times before has any vice president resumed control over NORAD, and what are your thoughts on this issue?
Well, I don't think it ever happened before, and the exercises of that day were absolutely unprecedented. And, I mean, those are, some of the reasons for thinking that what happened on 9/11 was certainly not a coincidence, and it could not have been pulled off by 19 Arabs with box cutters and an old man on a dialysis machine in a cave.